Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining me. Today, the subject will be not of the norm. It's not going to be about government so much, a government entity. It's not going to be about business, but what I want to start off with saying is thank you to all of you that have served and continue to serve with the 4th of July coming up, even though we just had Memorial Day and Juneteenth in between there, and now Summer Splash in our local town. Like I mentioned in the video the other day, it's this celebration after celebration. How does anybody get anything done, right? But yes, it is important that everybody is thanked and remembered and honored and all that good stuff. My concern today comes with a recent incident at the local Veterans Affairs facility that I was in. Now I'm trying to get outside care. What I want to say is I've had issues with the VA ever since, actually I went to a VA facility when I was still active duty down in Arizona. Not the Phoenix one, but it was the Tucson VA, and this was in 2013, so it's before the whole thing happened where, they had the whole scandal with the covered up wait times and that, but yeah, and actually ever since, so it started and I got out in early 2014, came home to Minnesota, and I was supposed to go in for my initial appointment, get evaluated and all that. What happened was I would be scheduled 30 days out for an appointment. It would get up to about a day or two before the appointment. They would call and say, "Oh, sorry, we don't have another doctor yet that can take care of that problem. You'll have to wait." So they continued to do this for about 4 months. And one time I even mentioned thank you on the phone, and the guy's like, "Yeah, right." And this was, the VA employee, because he knew they were messing up, right? He knew I was not getting the treatment that I deserved. And this was right before the whole bombshell came out about, the VA with the hidden wait times. And to elaborate on that, what's BS is how we see once again different rules for different folks. See, government employees there that were even guilty, they didn't do any jail time. They still left with their pensions, their bonuses. So that's one of the problems in this country too, as we see with the current administration, is if you're of the higher echelon, you can get away with a lot of stuff, right? And a lot of times it benefits more for you to do the crime because if I can make $1 million and if I get caught, only have to pay back 500,000, people say, it's a win-win. So that's why they do it. So that's one thing that needs to change. Supposedly, President Trump came down on the VA and said, "Oh, this is a big deal. People are going to be able to get fired," and that hasn't happened. There's still, I would say, a lot of bad doctors in the Veterans Affairs facilities all over, from the ones I visited and they attempted to serve me at. So what I see happening in the Veterans Administration is they're rounding the wagons up even tighter. They're protecting each other even more so. So now all veterans are enemies. Incoming veterans, they immediately say, let's delay, deny, wait until they die. Even more so, let's hang up on phone calls, let's disconnect from appointments, which is what happened to me just yesterday after waiting almost an hour. It was 20 minutes past my appointment time, but the nurse had called me 10 minutes before the start of the hour. The appointment, the check-in wasn't supposed to start till 3:15. She called me 10 minutes to 3, 9 minutes thereabout, and so, he has extra time. So I'm sitting here waiting, all the way till 10 past the appointment time. So and all of a sudden the session timed out. And I'm like, oh my God. So I just clicked off, and all of a sudden I'm getting phone calls. Finally, an hour later, the doctor now has time to see me. As if my time has so little value that we'll just sit here. And then here's what I do. So I call the patient advocate. And the patient advocate has the audacity to say, Oh, yes, well, I would imagine it took time out of your work day. You do have a job, right? I would imagine with your age. So all of a sudden now I'm getting discriminated by the patient's advocate that's supposed to look into things. And immediately, they caught themselves. Oh, I mean, I'm not trying to imply anything. Well, then why did you say it? Why do you think that? So to put some salt on the wound, I get another insult. It's like, oh my God. So I'm pissed. And this is all about an appointment. I went to an outside doctor. This condition has been going on for some years where it would flare up, come back. It turns out it's gout. Well, that's what I had initially seen this VA doctor for. Hey, I got pain in my foot. It's swollen, it's red, it hurts. I can barely walk on it. This recurs once or twice a year. And they look at it briefly and say, oh, so I'll send you to a podiatrist. I have an appointment with the Veterans Affairs podiatrist. And they look at my foot, and there again, it was very late for my appointment, and the doctor's even already like hanging it up for the day. He's saying, oh, gee, that was a tough morning, wasn't it? So he's looking at me like, what do you need? And so he eventually, and I said, look, it's really painful. So he finally does a cast on my foot and gives me insoles for what turns out is gout. Guess what? Those insoles ain't helping much. So it was 2 VA doctors that misdiagnosed me, and then they wonder why you want to go outside. This ain't the first time this happened to me. I had got out of the Army. I was a 92 Gulf cook. I did a lot of the ceremonial cakes. I did a lot of the baking. So, yeah, by the time I was 29, I had carpal tunnel for sure in one wrist. And the other wrist, the VA also did not detect that. I had to go to an outside doctor to get that detected as well. So tell me, it's like even the patient advocates are now covering for the bad doctors, for the bad wait times. And it seems what they'll do is they'll shuffle people. That's what they do, right? It looks like to me, from my experiences, they'll get a lot of people in a given day. Oh, we'll just make time. We'll just make some of them wait an hour or two. That's all. Or we'll hang up on phone calls and say, yes, we did contact them. And why isn't this stuff being called out? Why is it not being investigated? And I'll say where I go to. It's the St. Cloud, Minnesota VA facility. That's where I go to. Or have went, like I said, trying to get outside care now. For a long time, I was scared to say anything about it. It's like, oh my God, just like you see what happens to any whistleblower, right? There's retribution. They scour the internet. And like, oh, if we find anything, basically people are ruined for speaking out against institutions nowadays. But I'm to the point where, look, I knew I had some condition that was leaving me incapacitated. For anybody that ever has had bad gout, you know how bad it is, how much it hurts. I mean, I couldn't walk on my foot. It affected my ankle joint, not my big toe. So, I mean, it's like no consideration for the fact that I'm in pain. So what do I have to lose? That's the point I'm getting to. What do I have to lose? I have nothing to lose, but I hope that there's other veterans out there that will see this, not even just veterans, but people in general that just care and want to do something about it and call out this bad behavior. What do I got to lose? I mean, I got my health to lose if I just continue with them, obviously, because they love to not give you the time and attention you need and misdiagnose you. This was another thing that happened with that doctor related to the same ailment. They started me on a medication, wanted me to get blood work done. I did, and it was approved by the VA at an outside hospital. And so I got the blood work done, and then the same doctor, the same one that was late for the appointment the other day, is, oh, yeah, we'll have to get blood work done. And I said, you already prescribed I get blood work done. It should be in my charts. So he looks up, oh, where was that at? So it's like they don't even take the time to prepare for the appointment, right? You got to tell them what to do. I mean, I would be better off. I wish there was a pharmacy and I could just do my own research, because I think I would be better off, because I could have already figured out what I had. Instead, and this VA from me is not close. It's a 2-hour one-way drive almost, So it's not like it's close. But that's all I have for today. I know this doesn't really relate to most people. It's really a veterans issue, but I guess this could relate to other people. And also, it does show the difference between private sector and, the free market, really. The private and then government is what it really shows. I mean, these people, they know that they're getting paid regardless. They're allowed to mess up, and they're not going to lose their jobs. Where, if you're in the private sector, hey, if you provide bad service, you lose customers, you lose money. You're not on salary a lot of the time. So, with that being said, I hope this helps somebody. Please, let's have a constructive conversation about this. Don't be afraid to start a conversation. I will definitely reply if you leave anything down below in the comments. Please please subscribe to my channel. I want to keep coming with videos like this and starting discussions that nobody else is talking about. Let's make this world a better place together. All right, everyone have a great day. I'm going to try to beat the heat. Stay hydrated. Out.